Hey guys, Chit here. This is a bit of a different video. It's a vertical video. It's a recording from my phone. As I said a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to be doing a few reviews and tutorials on the iPhone apps that explore the depth maps. And today we're going to start with PortraitCam, which is developed by BrainFeverMedia, and I gotta thank James for providing me with serial numbers for testing these apps, and I had a blast. From the main screen, we can click on Info and access these options like the user manual if you want details on how to use the software. So here from the home screen, I'm going to click on the gallery here, and this is going to open me a list of photos that I took with my camera or with this app. And the ones that have the word depth in yellow are photos that I took in portrait mode and that have depth information. So I'm gonna go with this one of Ariana picking vegetables. On this first screen, I can control the blur, which is, as you can see, applied on the background. And if you want some reference, you can click on the image and that's gonna bring you a red overlay, which is everything that's out of focus. Now I can go to Aperture, and there I have different shapes, hexagons or diamonds, or our favorite, which is the anamorphic oval. Let's reduce the blur so it looks a little bit better. Spin gives the effect of the same thing that we see on the Galileo US44, which is the swirly background. It also uses the depth map for creating that effect. So I'm gonna dial it very low. Highlights control highlights or blooming, like you can boost the clipping of your bokeh, or if you dial it all the way down, the bokeh just pretty much disappears. It affects the spec highlights of your image. Let's go with a little bit. Fringe is going to be chromatic aberration. It splits the channels and it only affects the background, which is interesting. It also comes in very strong as you move the slider. With the depth selector, you can control how deep you want your image to be in focus or how close to the front you want focus to come. One suggestion I would have for this is that you don't have any front blur. Like when you pick what's in focus, everything from that point closer to camera will be in focus and everything past that point will be out of focus, when realistically you only have a slice of focus and things that are closer than that slice would be out of focus. So in this case, I can't separate her from the cilantro. The slider won't allow me. It just allows me to focus on the cilantro and then she's gone. When you click invert, guess what? The depth map is inverted, so what was out of focus is now in focus and vice versa. Depth map, no surprise, allows you to see the depth map, which it's not super high res, it's pretty abstract. The grain will add noise to the image, no surprise there. So I'll just make it crazy noisy. Exposure is, well, yeah, these are more of Instagram style or camera apps where you control just, it doesn't interact with the depth map. Like an exposure controller will just affect the brightness of the image. Vignetting will create the dark edges. And now that I went into crop, and it gives me various aspect ratios, but once I press done, my whole image is reset. So I think that's a glitch, I'm not sure. Maybe it should save our progress. When you go into mask, that allows you to control the depth map. So you can use the depth map as your tool for blurring the image. And if you choose to start with your depth map, you can edit it, you can paint more things to be in focus, you can take things out of focus. This is where I could get rid of that cilantro, but I'm not gonna do that. Radial or landscape or gradient are gonna be more like the Instagram blurs, like the tilt shift blurs, nothing too special. This section of flares gives you a bunch of overlays, which you can control size, position, you can flip them around, you can change their brightness and the contrast between the brightest point and the transparent, so you can make it really subtle. The problem is these have hard edges, so you have to tuck them somewhat in a corner. There's a lot of options here, some of them anamorphic. But I don't know, I would not use these much, and the edges really make them challenging to use, because if you want it a little bit smaller, the edges will show up. And the last tab is the filters tab. It's pretty similar to what we're already used to having on Instagram. There's not much to say. It's useful to have, but I wouldn't miss it if it wasn't here. So I'm gonna go with the Fuji filter, and this is the photo that I want to do. So when I'm done, I'm given these options of saving the photo, pushing it to Instagram, Tumblr, or more options. So since I clicked that crop, I messed up everything that I did before, so I'm just gonna quickly redo everything, add the ovals, lower the highlights, lower fringe, kick the grain all the way up, make it a little bit darker. Now I'm gonna go and save, and it saves the photo. Yay, amazing, cool. That's awesome. From the main screen, I can click on my last edit, and that's gonna show up. While I'm looking at the photo, I can click this little eye here on the top left corner, and I can quickly alternate between the edited version and the original one. So this is PortraitCam. You can get it at the App Store for $2.99, and it's by BrainFeverMedia. Once again, thank you, James, for letting me play with this app. And what do you think of this video? It's not directly related to anamorphic, but it has a little bit of it when it comes to playing with the depth maps. I like the fact that you can do this on your phone, and it's a pretty weird aspect ratio for a video on a channel about anamorphics, I know. So what do you think of it? Let me know your opinion about the apps and about this review slash tutorial slash look at what you can do kind of thing. Yeah, that's it. I'm Chit, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.